towards the main topics which the Palo Alto supports, like the HA, it's been called as a redundancy, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll be moving to the global protect, user ID and app ID and all those things one by one. Okay. So about the HA, basically, HA is the one is a development in like Palo Alto which provides the firewall to be placed in a group where there the configuration will be getting sync to prevent a single point of failure, right? In our environment, basically in a data center or X kinds of firewall, we won't use any single kind of devices because we wanted, in any case, the firewall goes down, my production will get impacted for a minute or whatever the reason it should be. So always been preferred to use a redundancy. For that, we need a hardware model or VM model to get supported. So both of the firewall will synchronize with each other. Like whatever the configuration is, it is on this particular Palo Alto, it will be on this as well. So that's called a actually like high availability on the Palo Alto concept. So it's provide like entire business to have redundancy without a single point of failure. Like if one goes down in any condition, second one should get up and running absolutely fine without any issue. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like you can set up the HA with this, like there are some conditions to get HA to be set up with the uh following things. Like if you are setting up the HA firewall, the two firewalls which you are using should be with the same PAN-OS version, the very first condition. They should be with the same hardware model or the VM model if you are using. They would be the same. Okay, they would be the same content version on both of them. There would be the same set of licenses should be there. If any of these would be matching, your HA won't get set up. Like it won't allow you to be get set up your HA. So these are the following things which needs to be. There are many other things which needs to be matched. Will come like afterwards, but these are the things which it's needed to be get on the Palo Alto to be get set up your HA.
Mm-hmm.
So they are the two modes basically of HA. There is a mode called active passive, and there is a mode called active active. We'll first go with active passive, all the configuration part and everything. Then we'll jump into the active active. But just for like the difference, active passive is one, like it will be in this scenario, active passive, one firewall will be actively transferring your all the data and passively just keeping as a silent and will be actively to become a like actively patiently will become active. Like it won't pass any kind of traffic. It will just synchronizing and ready to be get active. Right? It is in a passive mode only. Like it doesn't transfer any kind of data. None of it data transfer from this passive firewall. It's just synchronizing and actively to be getting active once it goes down in any condition. In active scenario, both firewalls will be sending your data at the same time. Okay, how it has been possible, like what is the mechanism behind this, will come to this, but just for now, like there are the two modes, active passive and active model, which company uses to get set up their redundancy.
Yep.
Okay. So in active passive mode, like there was interfaces which you can use, like it supports your virtual wire interface. It can be set up on your L2 interface and it can be set up on your L3 interfaces as well. Okay, like the passive firewall does not pass your traffic, but it have the data plane interface up and running depending on the configuration which we have been set up. Okay, so basically these are the interfaces of the Palo Alto which supports your active passive scenario. In the active it won't get supported your VWAR so far. L3 and VWAR can be supported on the active. It's like L2 doesn't support on your active mode. So basically, we have been going through the management plane and the data plane. So here,
Sorry, Neha, question. So L2 L2 support active as well, right? L2 and L3. What about the virtual wide? Does that support active as well?
Yes, it is. No, like out of these three, they are the like L3 supports this active. V-wired support, it doesn't support L2. On
Okay.
L2 length, you can't configure this active.
All
Only
right.
the
Okay.
V-wired and the L3.
All right.
Okay, for setting up the HA, we do have the dedicated ports as well, which comes along with the Palo Alto, or you can use the data interfaces, which like Ethernet or other types of ports, which we do have on the Palo Alto based on the like hardware model you are using. So, from 32 series firewall or before that also no 200 doesn't be good. With a series of like 3000 above firewalls, you will be finding a dedicated HA ports. Okay. HA1 and HA2 basically it's called as HA1 port and HA2. It's not compulsory that you have to plug in the wire into these ports also. It's been like if you have like if you want to be get plugged into different Ethernet ports also, you can do that. It's like up to you based on the configuration. But it comes with a dedicated, if you want to use, you can, or it's like depending on your configuration if you want. There's nothing would be getting much difference if I'm using the dedicated one or if I'm using the Ethernet port. It's just like they give us like dedicated ports, like USB ports are there, so we don't need to go to the market and just plug in it. So from 33,000 series firewall, you will be getting a dedicated one. Okay. So they would be like two ports basically, that is called as HA1 and HA2. So HA1 would be used for your control plane sync. And HA2 is for your session syncing, that is called as like your data plane syncing. It's always been used as the control plane, and second one is always been used for your like data plane syncing. And okay, so let's talk about the HA1. The links are most important in the configuration of, if we talk about, let me open the firewall also side by side. What's going on? Just give me a second. I have like the this has been already set up on the lab. So you can do the practical. Okay, so about the HA1 link, it's known as the control plane HA1 link. Okay, HA1 link is used to control your sync your control plane data. Okay, whatever being deploy on your control plane data, it will be help us to allow for the control plane link basically. So what are those things which HA1 uses? It uses the hello, same as like routing protocol uses the hello for the like neighborship and routing table for the updation, different kinds of packets. So same as HA also uses, because whenever there will be like peer come in a picture, now these things will definitely will come, because these are the mechanisms through which they got to know like if peer has been up and running, or like how is the state of this, do I need to get failover, and those things. So hello is the one. Second is your heartbeat. Third is it will be used for the configuration. Fourth one is for your like management plane system runtime information like IP user mapping, sub table. So these are the things which it uses for the synchronization, user ID information. So heartbeat is something which it like heartbeat and the hello are the two important things which you need to be remembered. Like heartbeat is a ICMP message basically. It's a ICMP ping that has been sent to the peer for every configured heartbeat intervals. Okay. There would be some timing on the HA which has been recommended, or you can also be configured based on if you want to change it. But heartbeat is the like it's just a message of ICMP ping that sends to your peer for every interval of the time to check if it has been it verify the connectivity with the HA peer basically. Okay, using
Mm-hmm.
your ICMP ping. If it is get response within that time, it will like okay, if it doesn't, so it will be like dropping that connectivity with your peer. Second one is here hello message. Hello message been sent from each peer to the other once every configured on that particular hello interval time. So it will be determining your if your agent has been running on. Okay. If there's no response sent by the reception, it will be like thinking like the HA state has been changed or some changes are being needed. So if the hello message won't come within that interval time, what will be gonna happen? Like it will be like it's seems like a change has been needed. Change in the sense like failover condition is being needed.
Mm-hmm.
In a Palo Alto, we for redundancy we use a term as like a failover. Failover is a term or a condition which comes in a picture if your active firewall which has been up and running and used for the data uh, transferring. If it is goes down in any condition, like your suddenly your it got rebooted or your interface has not been coming up or any kind of like issue which can happen to the firewall. Like you have upgraded your firewall, it has been not been coming up, or anything which can sort this error rate. So that condition has been called as a failover. Failover condition occurs, then your active will change to the passive, and passive will take the ownership of the active one, and without losing your any kind of data, it will be like seamless, continues to get through the production time. Like it won't get any kind of impacted on anything. Okay.
Will we be able to do some
Yeah.
captures to see the hello and the heartbeats as well? Like if they're not forming like a HA or something like that, can
Yes, you can
we
like
do? Yeah.
we can do like for the HF you're using the management plane, you can take the TCP dump on the firewalls to check if uh the hardware has been going on or not.
Okay.
That's what I was opening the firewall, but I don't think so this has been okay. I'm trying to open it, but
So what happens, for example, like HA1 is the control plane and HA2 is the data link you said, right? So the control link and data link, right? That's what you used. So what happens if one of the link fails or the port goes faulty or something like that? Like, if HA1 fails, it will obviously fail over. Like it will,
see, HA1 is for your control plane. Okay, HA2 basically refers to your data plane.
yeah,
In if both goes down, there would be definitely a failover condition will occur. If
yes.
HA2 goes down, they would be like it will be stop syncing to your passive firewall, but there won't be any kind of failover condition occur. See,
Okay.
on the HA, it doesn't depend on this HA1 link or HA2 link for the failover. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that depends on the links, like failover conditions. Very first thing, okay, or
Yeah.
there will be two things on
Yep.
the HA for the failover. Very first is the link monitoring,
Mm-hmm.
and second is your path monitoring. If in this scenario, like what is this will come to this, but right now for the failover condition, if anything would happen to this things, na, like link monitoring or the path monitoring or heartbeat pooling messages,
Yep.
in that condition, a failover will occur and transmission will happen from active to passive and passive to active. Till the time if your H1 goes down, there would be nothing impact, but they would be impact in the sense of they won't be getting sync the configuration. Whatever you
Okay.
were committing to your active firewall, they won't get synced to your passive firewall. But in that
Right.
condition, no failover will happen. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
If
Yep.
like we'll come
Because
to this, what is the link and path version, then we'll get to know like why it doesn't get impacted. Yeah.
okay. Yep. I was just thinking about a scenario, right, where we have like, one firewall in one data center, like, a
Mhm.
fair bit in different places, and we
Mhm.
have, say, for example, like, a layer two through a
Mhm.
switch or something like that, right?
Mhm.
And if one of the link failed, or
Correct,
like,
correct.
or
That is
something
the
like that
physical
happens.
link you are talking about, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that
For
will
example.
come in this scenario for sure.
Yes, yes. So that is what I'm thinking. Like now, if only HA1 gets impacted, uh,
Mhm.
obviously, because HA1 is a
Mhm.
control link, right? So at that time, does it assume because the HA2 is still there, it's working fine, no impact on HA2, but only HA1 fails. So in that kind of scenario, I'm asking. So
Yeah, we'll come to this.
okay,
Yeah, we are just coming to this. Just for now, like HA1 and HA2 link, we are just focusing on because this has been needed and like why it's been like getting synced. What is the condition of all those things? What is the
yep,
mechanism used? So these are the common one like hello heartbeats which we see.
yep,
So basically, HA1 is used to exchange your hello heartbeat and the HA state information. Okay. The
mm-hmm,
state information will come to this. They are the different kinds of stages. They are the different kinds of what do you say? Mm, okay, stages and the modes also. So stages, it will be getting okay. Hello heartbeat stages and the management plane syncing for the routing, like the user ID information. It will also be getting synced between this. If your H1 goes down, so these things will get stopped and doesn't get synced with each other. Okay.
mm-hmm,
Another thing is like it will be using H1 is a like layer 3 link which requires an IP address. That's why it's been supported as an L3 because ICMP and all those ICMP used to exchange the heartbeat between the peers. Okay. They are
mm-hmm,
the two ports which it uses for the clear text and the SSH. These are on or the configuration part of things. Okay. If you
mm-hmm,
want that your like this heartbeat and this communication will goes into the clear text, you can use this, or if you want that SSH over the TCP, so it uses for the SSH uses 28 port. Okay,
mm-hmm.
TCP like SSH over the TCP. Sorry, and for the clear text, it uses like that's 28769. Yeah, 28769 and 28760. So these ports are being used for the clear text messages for your HA purpose. Okay.
Yep.
Now come to your data link. Okay. For the data to, sorry, HA2. HA2 link is being for your data link, which has been helping for your synchronization of the data of the session, basically.
Mm-hmm,
Synchronization of your sessions. Your forwarded link, IPsec, and your ARP table. These are the important things which is being used for your data link to be get synced between each of them. So data flow in a HA2 link would be your unidirectional one. Okay. It always in a unidirectional flow except and for your HA2 keep alive messages. These are the bidirectional. Else your data what are be flowing on your HA2 link would be your unidirectional one. Okay. Flows to
okay.
the active or the active primary firewall or to the passive to the active secondary firewall doesn't go both of the way. Okay. HA2 link is the layer 2 link and it's been using ether type basically. Okay. And
Mm-hmm,
okay. This for your HA1 and HA2 main links which you need to be configured. It's been like recommended. If any of the links you are not been configured, your HA configuration is not been getting completed. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, if yeah, please.
So question. So here like HA2, when you say like a keep alives, right? It's an keep alives, right?
Mhm.
But it's a layer two, a pure
Mhm.
layer two. Is it kind of like how the BPDUs, does it send the BPDUs kind of
Yeah,
thing
kind
as
of
well?
thing. Yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
The same. Yeah. For the like HA, like the other two, basically two links which we are configuring, like two different wires on both of the firewalls. So
Yep.
basically needed some mechanism, like on the H1 we talked about that ICMP and hello hardware. So if here also need to have like this, it will be sending on both of the peers to be get like if it's been up and running or not. Okay.
Yep.
But if any like if you see like your in the firewall configuration, if you see like HA2 is being down, your
Mm-hmm.
firewall will be stable up and running. Okay, it won't get impacted for your failover condition yet.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
if both has been going down, then definitely there would be some errors will be coming, but it will be getting a state change of your firewall. But again, it won't impact on your data. Okay,
Right.
data for the session, nothing would be getting impacted.
Right.
It will be getting impacted if your link and path monitoring will get impacted. We'll come to this on very next.
Mm-hmm.
For now, if like we are been running on a very critical site and we don't want a single or microsecond of the downtime as well.
Mm-hmm.
So HA, like Palo Alto provides another beneficial thing that is to be configured as a backup link of your control plane and data. Okay.
Okay.
Once you have to be configure the HA1 and HA2, that is being very compulsory to be get configured for your HA to be running on. If
Mm-hmm.
you have like very critical and it's not been recommended, but if you wanted, we get
Mm.
backup of these links as well. So you
Okay.
can do as well. So that is known as a HA1 backup and HA2 backup.
Okay.
These are the configuration which you will be like configuration part which you can do on your firewalls. Okay.
Okay.
What it will be providing? It will be providing a redundancy to your main HA1 and HA2, which you have configured. In any condition, if your HA1 goes down, your
Mm-hmm.
HA1 backup will come in a picture. Okay.
Okay.
In any
Yep.
condition, if your HA2 goes down, HA2 backup will come in a picture. But
Mm-hmm.
there are some condition in the sense it would be like dedicated backups links, but there are some guidelines which you need to follow when you are configuring this backup links. Very
Okay.
first thing is your IP address of the primary backup links would not get overlapped with this. Whatever the IP address you have configured for this subnet
Okay.
I'm talking about, if you have configured that subnet of 10.0.0.1/24, you can't use the same subnet for your H1 backup. Like it should be a different one. Like subnet won't get overlapped
Yep.
with the system. Second thing, HA like HLink would be like on different subnet from like primary, just the same condition. The
Mm-hmm.
second like it must use a separate physical link. Okay, physical ports and the physical link basically. It
Yep.
uses a different ports to be on configured. You can't use that same whatever you can't configure, but it
Yep.
uses a dedicated ports to be to be get configured. You
Yep.
can what do you think was there? Like the port numbers are would be same
Mm-hmm.
for like encryption and decryption like 28 and
Yep.
2870. Yeah, there's some different ports it does it. IPv6 we are not talking about, but it doesn't uses that IPv6 like it doesn't support in
Okay.
actually the backups. It doesn't support that. So these are the things which need to be that remember when you are configuring HA1 and HA2 backup names.
Yep.
So HA1 HA2 link for the your HA configuration and these backups are for your this HA1 HA2 link to be get backup. Everything has been same, configuration is will be same, but just an IP overlap and you need a dedicated port to be get configured. Okay.
Yep.
Many
Okay.
people configure this. They if they want uh, like redundancy kind of thing, they do this. There's
Okay.
no issue with that.
Usually with this one, like, we only have like a one HA link, but here we have two HA links, right? HA1, HA2. Because usually what we noticed is, like, in the split brain scenario, obviously one fails to detect the other one, like, the HA pair, and it obviously thinks like, I don't have any, like, HA pair, and they both started doing that. So that scenario happens with Palo as well, yeah?
Yes, yes, it happens. Yes, definitely.
Okay.
We talk about the HA states basically. Okay. HA states as the same, like whenever we start configuring, there are some possible stages which the HA goes through and will come in a proper active passive or the active state. So very first, all the devices having like initial state. Okay. Initial is the very first one. In the initial state, the firewall will remain in the state for the 60 seconds after the boot up. Until
Yep.
unless it will be like discovering its peer and the negotiation weakens. Okay.
Okay.
After the 60 seconds, a device will become like the activity negotiation has not been started yet. Okay, it doesn't find any kind of peers or anything, it will be keeping as itself as an active one. Okay, in the initial stage. The second stage would be your active one. Active one is the it is our state where like normal traffic handling operation would be getting between the your infra. Okay. The passive one is the normal backup state where traffic handling interfaces are maintained in like up and down state and depending on the configuration which you have configured. So it is just a passively monitoring stage if you have configured the active passive scenario. Okay. Another stage is your tentative stage. This stage has been caused by your monitoring object failures. Okay, on your Palo Alto infra, something has been failure regarding your object, so it will be like getting a tentative stage. It doesn't like it's a very rare which we see on the HS side.
Okay.
So is one is the suspended stage. Sorry, as the name suggests, like suspended.
Yep.
It has been coming when your administrator which will be like letting down. We are like forcing to be get down. Usually we do whenever we are doing like failover or like in a split brain condition. If you want like both of the firewall to be getting transfer traffic and will be causing issues. So we forcefully down one of the firewall to be getting the suspended state until we solve that conditions, right? Another last one is your non-functional state. This is the most common which we see while troubleshooting your HA. It is a error state basically called as a error state. Error state can be like on the active or the passive device can enter to this state if any kind of error has been detected in any of the firewall. It got rebooted, loopback has been detected, or many others errors you will be seeing on your both of the firewall. Like it is not compulsory, like it will become on the passive only or the active. Both can detect this kind of stages at any point of view. So you can clearly see these stages when you are configuring the edge, and it will be like once you started configuring or to boot up your firewall or committing, you can clearly see these stages basically.
Okay.
So another thing would come up like in every peer scenario, there would be kind of election would be happening, right? If two firewalls are there or the peers are there,
Yep.
sorry, then your election would come in a picture, like in which we have declared like election is there. So same
Yep.
as your active election will depend on your device priority or like the device priority will come in a picture like upon initial configuration on the devices which you are doing. So as it's the simplest, like the lowest priority, whatever you are being giving to your firewall, it will be become as a active one, and so who is ever having the highest priority, it will become automatically as a passive one. Another thing, we use a preemption here. Preemption and preemptive we always use on a PS stage as well.
Yep.
Preemption means like uh, this is a simple condition, like this is my active firewall and this is my passive firewall. If we have like This is the lower priority with the 100, and this is been running with 200. And in this condition, we have enabled the preemption on both of the firewall. Okay. If you are using preemption on one of the firewall, there won't be any kind of use. In a HA, it has been compulsory to use like enabling the preemption on both of the firewall at the same time. Okay. If the preemption has been enabled, or in any condition your active goes down, your passive will be taking as a role of your active one and up and running, absolutely fine, and data syncing and everything. Once it will, in a preemption condition, if your active will come up again, up and running, and it will be detecting by the messages like active came up again, it will be taking its role back again in the preemption condition. Okay?
Yep.
It has been enabled. If it has been disabled on both of the firewall, or the failover condition occurs and it has been taken the role of active one and your preemption is been disabled, or your this active will keep up and having the device priority as lower as well, it won't take its role back again because preemption has been disabled. Okay.
Yep.
Whatever the firewall has been running as your active now, it will be keeping as active until unless your firewall gets rebooted or any upgradation or something has been happening. Okay. It will be like keeping its role it's as it is for the preemption.
Yep.
It is recommended whenever you are like upgrading your firewall in the H environment, always been disabled the preemption very first. Then go ahead with the process of the upgradation. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. They are the timers. Okay, I will show you in the practical. There is another thing. 15. Okay. About the link and the path monitoring. Monitoring is like heartbeat pooling, occurs on both of the passive and the active devices. It's been like pooling can be like configurable between your 1000 to 6000 milliseconds. If the active detects peer, like if active detects that passive has been stopped responding, it will be generating critical messages. And if the passive detect that active has been stopped, it will be triggered a failover, assuming that active has been stopped. You can see these messages clearly on your system logs of the firewall. Okay. If you want to see for the HA log specifically, you can go to your system logs of your firewall and type like click on that event and type as a HA. Whatever the HA event log would be occurring, you can clearly see over there like the failover has been happening at that time, or many others errors would be, you can clearly see from your what do you say, on the system logs of the firewall basically. So they are the like monitoring. Basically, we are talking about your link monitoring of it will be like your link monitoring basically. So link monitoring is like it watches the physical ports or the states, like physical port state or one or like for a single port or the multiple ports. You like it's a configuration part basically, the link and the path monitoring. So these are the conditions where a failover will that occurs. So link monitor it's only watches your physical port state, a single or the multiple. Okay. A set of port can be configured in a group to create a link group, like any or like there's a condition like any or all. Okay. But always you have a firewall that is being your active firewall is been running. They are the data control and data plane link is here. There's a physical link and this is your passive firewall. Okay. Behind also you do have your different kinds of devices which have been running on your infra, like inside that your user have been connected, been going throughout the internet of this firewalls, right? So link monitoring is a condition where any or all you can get configured with any specified. Okay, if you have specified any in your link monitoring configuration, it will be specified a failover condition where it will be indicated if any of the port in that group enters in a down state, your failover will get occur.
Okay.
Okay. In all condition, what is the difference in all? It's like they are the two links has been configured. Suppose I'm using a backup also. I'm using a different kinds of port link also, which is being connected to my other device. If all these links uh, okay, in all condition, what will be happening? Like if they are the four interfaces are being connected from my firewall,
Mm-hmm.
until and unless this four firewall goes down, my failover, then after my failover will get occur. Out of four, if two has been up and running and two been cut down, failover won't occur if you are using the all condition in the link path monitoring configuration. In any condition, out of four link, if any of the link goes down, my failover will occur.
Okay.
So this is the difference.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you configure the link monitoring, it will be like asking you the failover condition, any or all. Okay.
Right.
So based on the groups you have created, link group or the path monitoring group we create. Okay, group in the sense if you want that all physical links to be the part of that group, or if you want that single to be the part of that. Okay, so that
Yep.
is what your link path monitoring, and in that condition only your failover will get occurred. Multiple link group can be created as the like same as like your any or the all logic can be applied across all the group. It like doesn't trigger failover if link group is not down, even like your up your device has been up and running. Okay, up
Mm-hmm.
to stream device I'm asking, like if
Yep.
another device has been connected to like over here, it doesn't trigger any kind of failover in a group if your like a stream device has been connected. So these are the two uh, basic conditions which you configure when you are configuring your infra like this. Okay, this is the critical link if you want, so you can keep it as any, or if you like you say like okay, if my one link goes down, it will be like stable and up and running. I don't want any kind of failover condition, because failover condition definitely it's not good. Like failovering again and again, your firewall infra will get disturbed in any case.
Yep.
It has been redundancy, but there would be some kind of causes will be happening, like alerts will be generating, or you will need to have different kind sort of issues can happen on your infra. So it's
Yep.
disturbed.
Okay.
Another thing is your path monitoring. Okay, path monitoring can be used to ensure basically your L3 connectivity. Okay, sorry. It will be ensuring your L3 connectivity via ICMP ping to your upstream or your downstream devices. Okay.
Yep.
In your infra, but of which your firewall has been connected to your devices, which has been like connected in your upstream and downstream devices. So multiple destination can be specified. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In the link monitoring, it will be like watching your physical links. In the path monitoring, it will be like looking for your destination which you have been configured. Destination in the sense, uh, like destination in the sense like for the devices, like if it has been reachable or not, the
Yep.
to which you wanted to do like something. If after your active firewall there is a router or it's not been responding to your active firewall, so in that condition your path monitoring will come with this. Okay,
Yep.
so with the virtual wire LAN or like L2 configuration, your source IP must to be configured. Okay, both source and destination should be in the same subnet.
Okay.
By default, in the path monitoring, what will be happening every 200 oh, sorry, 200 millisecond, it will be like ping will be sent to your destination to watch, and if get its response within the 2 second windows time, it's seen like if no response has been coming, a failover condition will be triggered on. Okay, ping
Okay.
interval and ping count value can be modified in the configuration if you want. You want like more to be get increased is ping count. This is a
Yep.
by default value basically. Okay, it's
Right.
been after like every 200 milliseconds to be configured to your destination, whatever destination you have been configured.
Yep.
Basically, we configured the internet or those things because we don't want to be failover for any devices to be get up and triggered. Like failover can be triggered in my
Mm-hmm.
environment. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so the value which you can modify. It is also
Okay.
the same. Like set of the path can be configured in a group scenario. Group, the same will occur like any or the
Mm-hmm.
like
Okay.
nothing like you can this not compulsory if you are configuring a single destination. It
Mm-hmm.
depends on you again. A single destination you can configure, or you can create a group of destination. If all the group of destinations is not been reachable, your failover will trigger. If a single destination you have configured and a condition as any,
Yep.
then your in that condition your failover will get occurred. Like same rule which has been applying on the link monitoring, same rule
Link.
for your
Y-
path monitoring. The
Yep.
difference between is like it will be for the reachable of the destination, and it is for your link, basically the physical link.
Yep.
In that condition, your failover would get definitely occur.
Okay.
In that condition, if your HA goes down, there won't be any kind of failover condition will be occurred
Yep.
in your this scenario in the HA configuration which you do. In that, it will be triggering up. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
But there are a few things left about the HA, like what does HA active passive doesn't see between them, and what does active active doesn't say. Same as
Mm-hmm.
like what are the things which they do say. There's a question arises on this like
Mm-hmm.
mm, suppose like we are running on a redundancy, like this is now active firewall has been running this control and data plane is being connected with another device, that is the PA only, and that has been as a passive one. Suppose in this active session has been running 1,000 seconds at this moment. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
1,000 seconds has been currently running from this device. Suddenly, this device got rebooted or any sort of issue which leads to the failover condition. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And now failover has been happened, and this passive firewall now being acting as an active. So what will happen to those 100 sessions? Does
Mm-hmm.
it get dropped down? Does like pastor will take the ownership of this, or like all the thousands user will get impacted? So what will happen in this condition? Because we are running a redundancy and we told like nothing should uh, get happen because there's a redundancy and active passive is given. But what will happen this active 1,000 sessions was currently running on this firewall?
Mm-hmm.
So session is the one thing which doesn't get dropped. That's why we are using the redundancy. The
Okay.
thing is, like, session ownership will be taken by the passive, not the ownership will be taken. There's a thing like session table.
Okay.
Session table will always be get sync between your active and passive. Okay. In any scenario, your session table, whatever the session has been running on your active device, will have the same thing on the passive device as well.
Mm-hmm.
Until like passive device won't take any kind of ownership and do the data handling thing on those sessions, but the session table whatever they are making as per the packets coming like hitting to the active firewall, the same packet will go through the passive firewall. This is why, because in any case my like active goes down, so this session won't get terminated or get down and my production won't get impacted.
Right.
Okay, in the condition of the failover, so session table is the one which always and always gets synced. So what are
Okay.
the those things which doesn't get synced between active and passive?
Mm-hmm.
So very first thing is the management setting. Whatever the management setting I'm running on this active firewall, that doesn't get synced with this passive one. Management setting includes like your setup management general setting like host name, domain name, login like banners things, SSL TLS profile, time, location, date. These are the things which doesn't get synced between both of them. Another thing,
Can you explain me the management session again? Like, I didn't clearly get that management.
management interface thing. The management interface thing includes your host name.
Mm-hmm.
What the host name I'm putting on this active one, it doesn't get synced with this passive one. Whatever the SSL TLS profile I'm using for this active firewall doesn't get synced with this one. Same
Right.
as what the time I have been located for this active firewall, that also doesn't get synced with this time, date, and what else? Like yeah, domain name. So these are the things which we also doesn't want to get synced with your passive one, because host name, like the name which I'm giving on the firewall, I don't want that same firewall name to be given on the another firewall. So management purpose and whatever you are doing on the GUI, na, like very first when you started your firewall configuration, putting up the name, IP, SSL tables, profile, time, date, NTP, and these all those things, which that all doesn't get synced with your passive firewall. Okay.
Right.
Like once you have been set up your active one and now you are adding another firewall, so these things won't get synced at all. Okay. Another
Okay.
the IP, many things are there, like IP is the one, default gateway is the one,
Right.
subnet
Right.
mask is the one, MTU is the one, and what else? Default gateway, whatever we.
But basically, so for example, so MTU, those will be like in a setup, I think same, right? And most, obviously active passive, they will be same, right? MTU size or the NTP, if we set up the NTP,
In the active passive scenario, now if I wanted my this firewall to be as an active and as always, this is I'm putting like in any case this firewall goes down, this
yeah,
will take the ownership of that. Okay. So
yep,
MTU we like my like current firewall has been running this also. If in any case like it got failed over or it got a passive role, but
mm-hmm,
always the empty what we were running for any other purpose, like the book name we have enabled or something. So we can make that MTU over here also.
yep,
In any case, like if it's totally been down and not been coming for like few days, or like we need to do RMA of this firewall, then yeah, these things we can match it, like the
okay,
empty things we can match it. But
right,
it's like for remove like MTU we are using for in our infra for like uh it's been needed. Like if it has been actually needed, then we can do it. So if not, then it's been okay. Like, but these things wouldn't get sync at all.
sync,
I'm like,
okay,
you can do manually. You can go
yeah,
on the passive firewall and do whatever the MT you have set it on this. You can set this also.
right,
But
right,
actual में when they communicate for the HA purpose, na, these things won't get synced at all.
okay, okay, yep, yep, got that,
Same as your multi-VSys capability won't get synced. Multi-VSys means the uh, you have heard about like the virtual routing table on the VRF,
yep,
no?
yep,
Same as we do have the concept on the firewall that we call as a multi-VSys.
mm-hmm, yep, yep,
We can create like physical firewall into a virtual thing. So
yep, yep, yep,
multi-VSys things also won't get synced between them. Okay.
okay,
Another thing is the panorama settings. If you want like this two firewalls are being managed with your panorama, so panorama setting, whatever you are putting on this active one, it won't get synced with the passive one at all. But obviously you can manually do those things like putting the IP addresses or the services object policy, but they would get synced manually.
mm-hmm,
Okay. The panorama settings, you are on like panorama settings also doesn't get synced. The panorama servers IP which you are putting on the active one, it won't get sync on the passive one. So you need to manually type those things as well.
right,
And see, these things won't get synced. Now, if you have seen on the firewall, we do have a device tab, right?
yep,
Inside the device tab, we do have a setup.
yep,
Inside the setup, these things will come in a picture because setups includes your management configuration, includes your like this panorama settings, includes your multi-VSys capabilities, settings, includes your SNMP, includes your services, global route, everything. So whatever inside your set device setup things, no, these things most probably won't get synced between your active and passive. These things you need to manually put on your passive.
right,
Is the basic thing. Like say as in the setup you will be finding the SNMP. SNMP setting also won't get synced. Services, the services which you wanted, uh, route services basically, which we call as operational route services, they also won't get synced. If you want my active firewall uses the management to go all, and you want like passive firewall uses your Ethernet interface to for the LDAP and all those things, so these
mm-hmm,
things also won't get synced. And this, if they are not syncing, they won't cause any issue in your HA. if they got failover also, it uses the management, it uses the Ethernet, so it also don't get any like issue at all. Because both are the individual firewalls. The
Hmm.
things which required for the edge been syncing and doing their work for the failover and all those things. But these things it doesn't require at all, and these things also like doesn't get synced.
Right.
Jumbo frames came like Jumbo frames also doesn't get synced. If you
Hmm.
want to put it manually, you can do on both of the firewalls. And what else? Licenses. License is the one which doesn't get synced. Support subscription also doesn't get synced. But licenses and these things you needed like similarly when you want to make the HA. Like for the HA to be get configured on both of the firewalls, the PAN-OS version should be get matched.
Yep.
The device model should get matched. The licenses should get matched. And what else? Yeah, the update servers like dynamic update servers should get matched. So these are the things which definitely should get matched. Then only your HA will come up in the like at active passive mode.
Right.
Same as your in your active mode also, your these things would get matched. This is for the active passive and this will apply to the active as well. Management setting, multi-vcs, panorama, SNMP services, jumbo frames, software updates. These things won't get matched into your active scenario as well.
Right.
IPsec tunnels, these things. IPsec tunnel settings won't get matched in active. Okay, if you are putting as your like firewall in an active scenario, if the IPsec is there on the firewall, so these things won't get matched in active scenario. But in the IPsec active passive scenario, they
Hmm.
won't get like they will sync. There's no issue with that. Hmm, what else? These are the ones. And yeah. Mhm. Now we talk about what are the things which will get sync automatically depends on your management plane and control.
Hmm.
It's about both of them, active and active passive. In the management plane, your user to the group mapping, it will get sync between your active also and active passive also. User
Right.
ID mapping will get synced with the help of your HA1 link, the control link which we are using. Second thing is your user mapping across your virtual system, like the VSys. User ID, wherever your user ID will come in a picture in the scenario of active passive, they will get synced for sure. Because
Hmm.
user ID, the sessions which we are talking about, like the 1,000 session, because the 1,000 session will be used by some user. So user mapping, whichever will be coming on the active firewall, will get synced with your passive firewall as well. So
Hmm.
these things will get matched for sure. User to address mapping, user to like virtual VSys mapping, virtual to group mapping. These things will get sync on both of like active passive scenario.
Okay.
DSCP lease time. DSCP lease time as a server, it will be getting matched on both of them with the help of HA1 link as well.
Okay.
DNS cache. This is not getting matched now. FQDN also doesn't get okay. This thing, no? Sorry. Web information, like forward information base, will get synced into your active passive scenario, not in your active. Okay.
Yeah.
Web session won't get synced between both of them, but in active scenario, it will get synced with the help of your HA1 interface again. Multicast will get synced between your active passive, not with your active with the help of HA1 link again. And what else? Mhm. Okay, yeah, the main now. Okay, now about the data. These are the things which related to your management. Okay,
Yep.
data plane thing. Your very first and important thing is session thing. Will come in a picture, and this will be used by your HA2, that is your data link, and in both scenario, active, 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 passive, your session table will always and always get will synced. Okay.
Okay.
Mm. Same as your multicast session will get synced between both of active, 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 passive scenario. These are the management thing related to your HA1 link, and HA2 link is related to your data plane link.
Mm-hmm.
ARP table will get ARP table is ARP table will get synced your active passive, not on your active scenario. NDP table will get synced on your active passive scenario, not on your active. IPsec SA, the same which we have discussed. Virtual MAC will get synced on both of them. Okay, so these are the things will get matched because these are the things which will be associated with your HA as well. Because
Mm-hmm.
in your active scenario, there's a concept of floating IP will come in.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it uses the concept of active. So the one thing which is behind. And what else? Yeah, these are the like for your basic, not the
Mm-hmm.
basic, for your HA configuration and syncing process. These are the like common things why session are not been getting synced because you have disabled the session info like HA two link is HA. If your HA2 link is down, your session won't get synced. Okay? Your
Mm-hmm.
HA should be in a up and running state because it uses a HA2 link, and HA2 link refers to your data plane. So
Yep.
that if your it's not been like up and running, and if you get a failover thing, then your that 1,000 session will get terminated at that point only. It won't get
Okay.
synced to your passive firewall. If your HA1 link showing down on your dashboard thing, and
Okay.
that should be keep in mind for when we are doing. So yeah. Mm-mm-mm. Like there are a few lists which says like the HA configuration won't get synced for the like different reasons are there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you have disabled the synchronization on any of the peers. Second one is your panel's version has been getting mismatched. And if your multi-VSys capability is enabled on one of the peer, not on the another peer,
Mm-hmm.
your VPN has been enabled on one of the peer, not on the another peer. Your URLs things are not been getting matched. So these all are things which gets leads to your synchronization between your HA. In a dashboard, my firewall is not here it is. In your in your like I will tell you the what we say that lab setup
Mm-hmm.
uh, in the next session because my EV is not been getting up. I don't know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I like set up the lab for the we can do the failover and all those things and can see actual uh, the states and all those things. Okay, this is about your HA basically active passive, not the active. Okay, now let's talk about the active points. Like most of the things are being matching between your active passive. Active is a bit complex to make it. Active passive is like easier to get set up,
Yep.
or active is like more complex to get troubleshoot as well. And active passive is like too sorted to do. But
Okay.
when people use it active also, like it depends on the scenario where you want it to get used. If you want both firewall to be in a active and processing the traffic, then you can use your active. It like doesn't matter. Like it is not getting any kind of load balancing. Okay, active doesn't sense like if you're using the active HA configuration, it doesn't it's a like myth like both are will be getting load sharing, but this is wrong.
Yep.
Both are in traffic individually. They are not load sharing. If you are like downstream firewall sending the traffic and they will like 50% of traffic will go from this firewall and 50% of go from this. This is wrong. No. Both will traffic that at individual times. They are not being for the load balancing. Load balancing will come in your active scenario.
Right.
In this, what will happen, like both HAPR are active and processing the data. Second thing, like it won't get support your L2. It's
Mm-hmm.
can like configured only on your virtual wire and L3 mode. Second thing, like for the asymmetric routing, like it can accommodate your asymmetric routing as well. It allows your dynamic routing protocols such as like your OSPF, BGP. You can like maintain the active fashion across the both of the peers if you are using uh, these dynamic routing protocols.
Right.
Additionally, like it will be like additionally required a dedicated HA3 link. HA3 link, because that was not uh, in a case like in active passive scenario, HA3 link is being used for your packet forwarding link for the session setup and the asymmetric traffic routing. So we require an additional HA3 link to be get configured for your active passive. It's basically used for your packet forwarding.
Okay.
So this is the like additional thing from the active passive scenario which required. What like another thing is like what active passive doesn't design for basically. So very first thing we discussed, like it doesn't do any kind of load balancing. Okay, load sharing can be done via
Mm-hmm.
sending the traffic across each peer. Okay, load sharing and load balancing, it's a different concept. So load sharing can be done, okay, based on the traffic we send across both of the firewalls, but there is no load balancing mechanism included in this. Okay, it's
Right.
like active active won't get increase your performance as well, or like it won't get allow your greater capacity. Okay, because it's two different firewalls are using two different sessions and two different sessions they are maintaining for different kinds of packets. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
it's doesn't mean like it will increase your performance, which active passive doesn't. Okay, so it is not something like that. If your standalone firewall doing the same thing as your active scenario also doing the same thing, the only difference is like for the redundancy which we are using. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Same as your active passive HA1 and HA2 link has been there for uh, active scenario as well. Adding HA3 is like uh, a data plane link which you need to be getting for the packet forwarding between your two devices. So there's a that like HA1 link will use for your management only. HA1 and your HA2, sorry, HA3.
Mm-hmm.
Two link will include now your data plane link.
Okay.
HA1 was only used for your management, but this link will be used between for your data link because it's needed a packet forwarding mechanism which we uh, discussed, right?
Yep.
Another thing, another thing is like in active cluster, the packet handling can be distributed between the two peers, like the two things which they will be using.
Mm-hmm.
Mechanism basically we can say first is your known as session ownership, and second is your session setup. Session ownership doesn't require on your active passive scenario because there is already been like only one firewall is been inactive and he is taking the ownership of that session and the previous one is just synchronizing that session. Okay. But
Yep.
here you do have two firewalls, right? You know, active, and both are being your data plane is up. So
Mm-hmm.
who will take the ownership of the packet if one of pin is been coming, right? So
Yep.
it's been decided by your session setup and session ownership. So session ownership can be either the firewall that receives the very first packet, okay,
Yep.
or the new session what has been like connected over here. So it says like suppose these are the two firewalls. The very first packet has been hitted to this active firewall by default. So he will be taking the session ownership of that packet or any kind of new packet which has been coming or in the we call it as a active primary or active secondary firewall. We call it as a name. Okay. Active primary, active secondary. So these devices are responsible for all the layer 7 processing, that is your app ID, content ID, thread scanning for those sessions. Okay.
Yep.
This device will also be responsible for generating all the logs related for that particular session. So once a newly packet has been hitted to this particular firewall and that same packet will be coming again. So this packet won't get to this another like second active firewall. It will go to this firewall only because he has taken the session ownership of that very first packet. So whatever another packet will be coming from that particular previous packet, now it will be taking the ownership by default. So DP are the ones which will be taking the ownership of between them. DPs are the working between them to assign the session ownership between these of two firewall. They will be checking like if there's a previous packet, they will be assigning to who has handled that previously as well. If it is a new packet has been coming, it will be assigning like checking on the session load, who has been a few loads, so it will be assigning a new packet based on the firewalls. Okay. Another thing, when the session owner fails a peer will become the session. Like if this firewall will get or down at any moment. So the whatever the packets the session is been going on, it will be taking the ownership of that packet as well. So same as in the active passive scenario which we have seen. Existing session will like fail over to the functional device, but there won't be any layer 7 processing will be available for those sections. Okay, there is a difference. In active scenario, be getting a failover, like if this device goes down in any moment, whatever the session was running on this particular firewall, it will take ownership by this, but layer 7 processing won't be available for those sessions.
Okay.
Okay. There won't be any of this thing. When a device will get recovered from a failover, that all session were owned by the device, it will revert back to him again. It's the concept in your active thing.
Then that will create outage, right? Impact, right? That
won't create any kind of outage. We
no,
can
not outage, but impact for those sessions, right?
yeah. If that packet really need the L7 processing, then we
Yep.
can say yes. If it is
Yeah.
like a normal packet which doesn't like it directly go from the like your payload sim, so it doesn't get impacted at all.
Impacted. Yep. Yep. Okay.
For those moments, but yes.
And is there any like algorithm like in the active state like where these say how to like algorithm I mean like round robin or anything like that, how to action the incoming packet or anything like that?
Algorithm is not like that. It's just like both your firewall has been like active. So DP are the one which works behind this to assigning the session ownership of the packets. Okay. Data plane works
Data
behind
plane.
to
Okay.
assigning the packets to the firewall. If I do
Okay.
have a like clusters of 10 firewalls also know my DP will work like I'm the DP and they would be DP childs like DP0, DP1 and DP2. So
Yep.
DP will be assigning those packets to the DP0 and DP will be taking care of that packet from the session ownership to the session setup till
Okay.
the system processing. So
Okay.
it's nothing like round robin thing like it goes come again back. No,
Yep. Okay.
it's just like simply being written.
Yep. Okay.
And and mm, okay, just like it's like the same thing, but this is some scenario like the packet flow for a new session. Okay. Packet for a new session support. This is my and user has been connected. Suppose like this is my active firewall which has been running in a scenario. These are my end host users which has been coming as the sequence which involves basically like end host sends a packet to the device A. You know, like this is suppose one device A and this is device B and these two other active firewalls. Okay. So and host just sended a packet from here to here. It goes here. Now firewall will examine the content of the packet to match its existing session. If it's there any existing session, then okay. If there's no existing session being matched, the device A will determine that it has just received the very first packet for this session, and therefore it will become the session owner for this packet, whatever the packet has been hitted. Okay, if there is no
Okay.
existing match has been happened. Now
Yep.
device A will be used the configuration session setup load sharing option to identify the session setup device. Example, like if we assume that the setup function is performed previously by your this device, like active B device.
Yep.
So using the HA3 link, using your HA3 link, this first device will send the very first packet to receive to your this active active secondary device. Okay.
Okay.
Now this firewall will be setting up the session and return packet to your again to your active primary device for the layer processing if anything has been required. Then your this active firewall will forward the packet via the egress out processing. So this is how a new session setup handling will be happening. If there is no session matched on this particular active primary, it will determine like it is the very first packet for a new session and will become the session ownership of that packet. Okay. Second thing, this device use the configuration setup load sharing like to identify if like previous like function was happened with this active secondary firewall, so it will be sending the to uh, like what we say to for the help of the HA3 link for the packet forwarding, it will be processing all those things and then returning back to this. And L7, because the one who has the session ownership now, that firewall only can perform your L7 processing if it has been required.
Okay.
He is not the owner, but like primary firewall has sent this packet to this firewall, but he is not the ownership of that packet, so he can't perform the uh, layer 7 processing. So it will send back packet to my original one, and then will be doing on and back like sending back to your egress interface.
Okay.
So your uh, like session ownership has been taken by this, but session setup has been done by this firewall. So this is how load sharing will come in a picture. This concept is
Okay.
called load sharing, like how
Right.
load sharing is been done. This is not like load balancing, but load sharing. Like I'm taking the ownership of this. You can perform the initial packets and all those things, and then return back to me. I will do the lesson processing and then give back to the egress interface. This is how your actual
Right.
processing will happen for getting the packet.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is like for the existing packet. This is for your like very new packet when it come and hit it. What will happen if your existing packet will come in a picture? Okay. If any existing session has been coming now, so what will happen? The end host same will send a packet. Suppose it has been sent it to this active firewall. The firewall examine the content of the packet to match if there is an existing session or not. If there is a session matched for this particular device, it will process the packet and send packet directly out via the egress interface. This is what will happen for your egress uh, for the existing setting basically. It doesn't like send packet for the device setup or session setup, nothing. For
Mm-hmm.
existing packet has been reached, it will be checking like if I was the ownership of this or if it is the existing packet, it will process all of the things, session setup, session ownership, everything will be done by this firewall only and will be sent by the ETIL interface. There's
Yeah.
nothing to be done any other. And what else? Development is like simple. Either we can use L3 or the but I don't want people using. Floating IP concept as this. Okay. About like deployment of the active actor using like your L3 floating IP. So floating IP can be moved between your HA device when a link failure or a device failure occurs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Interfaces on those devices in the cluster that owns the floating IP responds to the ARP request via virtual MAC because that's the concept of like floating IP only. So floating IP can be used for your like VPN or like source net allowing your existing uh, connection failures basically. Okay. So floating IP like if any device goes down or something like so your uh, GAP and all those come in a picture like now uh, I'm the one who's been up and running and for all the packets will be now getting written automatically to this because they have received the GR for this particular firewall. I'm the one who will be like sending those packets. So end hosts are being configured to use those floating IP as the default gateway to allow the traffic to be get load shared between the cluster basically.
Mm-hmm.
So once we create this active now, you will be finding like a floating IP. Like we need to create this one uh, virtual IP address because this will be used in any case if your firewall goes down or like will happen. So this is the one which will be sending the if the failover occurs, your GR basically will be sent out by the functional device. Like if any kind of failover has been occurred, so GR is the one which will be sending by this firewall. Once the device will recover the floating IP and the virtual MAC will move back to the original device again. Till that time, it will be with the another device who will be taking ownership of that firewall basically. So it
Okay.
will be like floating from one device to another device. If your firewall is up and running both firewalls, it will be like load sharing concept that we have discussed for the existing and new session will be happening.
Yep.
It will come in a picture only when your failover occurs, and that uses the GAP to be sent to your end devices.
Mm-hmm.
And once it will be recovered, it will be taken uh, again for the session setup and everything. Um, if you want to see the like IP address like for that, so you can use the command like show high availability virtual address, the other CLI command.
Mm-hmm.
You can just HA states are the same which we have discussed on the active uh, passive scenario.
Okay.
In that also the initial is the one which will become let's say in the active passive.
Yep.
Initial like device remain in the 60 second after the boot up, it will be like checking uh, if the active and passive scenario thing. In this, it has been like active primary, and this another state will be active secondary.
Okay.
And the suspend one is was there. Suspend is like administrator disable this.
Yep.
Active primary means the state of the firewall that connects to your same like both. There's no much difference between both of active primary, active secondary, but there's bit there was one kind of difference like it will be used for your like user ID agent run DHCP server, DHCP relay, matches DNAT, VFT, device ID, everything. Uh, a firewall which is in the active secondary state now it doesn't support your DHCP relay option. Okay, which
Okay.
the secondary firewall doesn't support any kind of DHCP relay. like in this firewall, like both firewall can like have the session ownership and service setup capability, but only the difference between the state is like it won't get supported for TCP relay. That's it. But there's nothing much different between the states. But the states it's been coming like active primary and active secondary only, and initial suspended. These are the state which you will be seeing whenever you are configuring your HA. HA election is like the same, but here also the preemption and those will come in a picture. The preemption hold timer, like it's about the election at the election setting and timers. Like we do have called as a preemption hold timer. So it's a time a peer remains in a passive state before taking over the active. Okay, timeout can be configured as the like lower value basically, so device will be using for those things. And here also, like we do have a hello interval, the time to send the hello message to check the agent state. And timers are a bit different. There's no kind of like you can do timer based on your configuration. They would be like whenever you're configuring the timer on the HM, you will be finding three options. One is advanced, one is recommended, and one is I forgot one more. So they are the three timers which has been on the HA configuration. So recommended is the one by default. Palo Alto has been recommended this time, and this is the by default be set up on your HA. In advance, you can go and change this recommended timing based on your configuration. If you don't want that hello package to be sent down every 3 seconds, you can change to the 6 seconds. So in the advanced setting, you can do that. One more was there. I was forgetting that. I forgot one more. There was one more timer. By default, like I have not seen like anybody has been using the different timer. Recommended is the one which they have used. In the HA timer setting tab, now you will be finding a drop down there for like advanced and these things. I forgot one more. Yeah.
So what's the point of having a preemption and all those in active because both are obviously active and why would we have like kind of like an election in active scenario because both will be doing the same stuff, right?
Yes, but you have been set up one firewall as an active right now. Okay, you have just connected like two. They are the two individual firewalls. There is no concept of preemption and all those things. Okay, at all.
Yeah.
But it's just like for the configuration part, they have not changed anything on the Palo Alto firewall. Okay, if you want to get a use, you can, but they won't come in a picture in any scenario. Okay,
Any scenario. Okay.
it's just like configuration. They have not separated the tabs on the firewalls. On the device tab, you will be configuring the HA. Same there, you will be configuring your active also.
Yep.
There's no much difference between the configuration. So they have like kept remain as the active or active passive only. If
Okay.
you
Yep.
want to get it enable it doesn't like
It doesn't.
that all.
Yep.
Nothing
Okay.
will happen for that. It's
Okay.
just for your scenario. But in
Right.
like you have set up one firewall, it's been up and running. Now you're connecting those cable to the second firewall. But this firewall doesn't know now. Like I'm active. Like what is my role as of now?
Right.
Right.
Okay.
So in the configuration, you are putting like now you are being active. Now the syncing will be happening initial stages, active primary, active secondary. So for
Right.
those things it is been. This option you will be finding a load recommended or load aggressive. So those you can
Okay.
use. It's all been depending on the timing which you are using.
Right.
Prevention like
Yep.
there's a role of prevention basically. What is the role I forgot? In the active scenario, suppose like prevention it has been enabled. Okay, we are talking about the prevention has been enabled on both of the firewalls. So if in the active scenario, this firewall goes down in any condition. Okay, and we were discussing about the session ownership.
All
Now
right.
all the session will be getting to this firewall. If
Right.
prevention would be disabled now, this session ownership will be keeping with this firewall only, and like if this firewall will come up also. So
Okay.
prevention will play a role in that scenario. If
Okay.
prevention is enabled, this firewall will come up running. This all the session information will now back transferred to by the
Oh,
prevention people.
okay. Yep. Got it. Got it.
Okay. Another are the like for the timers, like there's a maximum number of flaps or timers. Like a flap is counted as a device change in state from active to like active to non-functional and non-functional to be suspended. So
Mm-hmm.
if my firewall has been up and running, it's been flapping down like from active to non-functional, non-functional to passive again, and non-functional to active. This flapping has been happening like within 15 minutes. There's a timer like within a 15 minutes, if 3 times the flap has been happened,
Mm-hmm.
so that device will automatically be go into the suspended mode automatically.
Right.
Okay, so this is happening where you're like, firewall is not being like due to any issue, like if my interfaces are being flapping or anything. Due to this, my firewall will get flap, right? My active scenario or active passive scenario. So flapping will happen in 15 minutes. It will be checked. The three flap has been changed from active to non-functional, again from non-functional to active, active to non-functional. So these 3 times it will be noticing, and if that 4 time it will be completely down that certificate, like not certificate, that firewall into the suspended state. Okay.
Right.
Like it's like maximum number for the HA state change from either state, like active to non-functional before entering to the suspended state. Another thing is like your yeah, this is too, this will apply on both active passive and active also.
Mm-hmm.
In active passive, it will be checking like if your active firewall has been creating this, or your passive firewall, because both uses ICMP and that heartbeat messages. Due to this, they will be knowing like which device has been getting flap, and you can clearly see these messages on the system logs as well. So these are the like flapping modes.
Right.
And in active scenario also, you do have a monitoring that is called as your link and the path monitoring, the same which we have discussed yesterday. The same concept, any or the all link group, everything is being saved on this scenario as well for the failover thing. Another for the troubleshooting part, if you want to check the log for the uh, this one, so you can use the your HA agent logs. HA
Okay.
is the daemon which has been working behind for your HA configuration, all those things.
Yep.
You just need to type a command like show high availability and there's a question mark. So you will be finding all those commands like all, control link, data plane status, interface, link monitoring, path monitoring, the state synchronization, virtual address transition, everything.
Right.
Or if you want to see a real-time log, so you can just type a command like uh, tell follow yes mp log and HA agent. So that is the like just a command will I will let you know like tail follow yes HAMP HA agent log. So HA agent is the daemon which is working behind your HA configuration of the system. One more thing. Yeah, this is the what okay. Another is like for the upgradation process if you want to upgrade your active or the active passive scenario. In the active scenario, no,
Mm-hmm.
there's a bit difference the upgradation process from the active passive. In the active both like this is your active and this is sorry, this is acting as your active primary and this is acting as your active secondary. So for the upgradation, very first thing you need to suspend this firewall active secondary, verify that active primary is been now passing all the traffic, download and install the panos on your active secondary now.
Mm-hmm.
Like let me tell you steps. First you need to get suspend your active secondary, check all the traffic will be passing through your active primary, download and install the panos on your active secondary now, reboot that firewall, verify that active secondary is passing like is in a functional state, Now, then you need to suspend your active primary, check everything again, like it has been passing all the traffic, now get install panels, everything on this. And restart your active primary to complete the installation, verify the traffic, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you just need to get make it functional of that firewall which you have lastly deployed at panel. So this is the series of the firewall where you. Okay, one more thing. Before upgrading these HA devices, either in active or in active passive, just disable the preemption and then go ahead. Preemption plays a vital role which can lead to uh, any issue. So you need to be careful, like while upgrading a firewall, just disable the preemption and then um, go ahead. More just be missing.
So in the active passive, for to upgrade, so first we have to just suspend the redundancy and then perform the upgrade on the active one.
For what, active or active passive?
An active passive, if I want to
Mhm.
upgrade. So
Mhm.
first suspend the redundancy, right? Like a
Yeah.
HA, sorry, suspend the HA mode, and then it will fail,
Preemption disable.
and then perform the upgrade on the primary, right? And the active
No, no,
one.
no, passive. Always like in this scenario also, we are not upgrading the active primary. We are upgrading active secondary first. Same on the active passive.
Yep,
Suspend this firewall.
yep.
Uh, Disabled the prevention on both of the firewall.
Okay,
It has been suspended, your passive one. Now start the upgrade on this firewall. Download and install the PAN-OS. It will be coming up. Now your firewall will be like active passive, up and running, but they would be getting a warning message like PAN-OS has been mismatching, right?
right.
Be getting mismatching. Now suspend this firewall, failover, make this passive as an active one. It will automatically will become a passive. Now suspend this and download and install the panels and then failover again.
Okay, yep,
In
yep,
this scenario, in activity, you don't want to do any kind of failover. You just need to suspend,
yep,
download and install, verify the traffic, everything. In
yep,
this, you need to first suspend this, disable preemption on both of the firewall,
yep,
download install the PAN-OS.
yep.
Now failover. After the failover, wait for at least 5 minutes to check all the traffic has been running actively on this firewall or not.
Okay,
Check. See, one more important thing. Whenever troubleshooting the HNA, make sure you start from the very below layer, that is your L2 layer.
okay,
Because like ARP is the one thing which causes like multiple issues on your firewalls.
okay.
Like HS scenarios. I have like seen multiple cases where your ARP is not been getting what we say. It has not been getting on your
It won't
booking
resolve.
plan.
I-
Yeah, it won't get resolved. You will sending like unknown ARP. So
Okay,
ARP is the one thing which you need to check. Like we always started from the high level, like tunnel is there or this is, but always check from the basic. Uh, 2 days before, like we had some kind of issue related to GP. Okay,
okay.
and it was not on edge, but we troubleshooted everything for 9 hours, but we got an issue of the ARP. ARP was not getting resolved on the firewall. So
Right. Okay.
this is the like we always I have seen like multiple troubleshooting cases where we start from like that was in our issue what was happening. GB was there for a China users. Okay,
Yep,
the user was getting impacted. Like till morning they were connected to the China gateway, absolutely fine and up and running.
yep.
Suddenly something happened on the firewall. This 1,000 users disconnected from the China gateway. And there
Right.
was a tunnel created between one of the Palo Alto firewall to another vendors like Azure was there, Microsoft.
Yep.
We have like there's a tunnel. We like tunnel was absolutely down, like both of the phases. We were troubleshooting continuously on this tunnel for past 9 hours. Like what is happening? We were
Wow.
getting like
Okay.
SA mismatch, this vendor ID mismatch,
Yeah.
everything like we were getting. But no one has seen the ARP on this
ARP.
particular.
Okay. Right.
So like after 9 hours, like it's like shit. That was the cause. But once
Yep.
we
Yep.
rebooted this firewall, everything was like get sorted.
Right.
So
Right. Okay.
it's
Yep.
like ARP in the case of HA, in the case of global protect,
Yep.
always check the ARP first on the firewall because
Yep.
there was some compatibility issue which is being like sometimes it's going like if you are using at one end your Palo Alto firewall, either it's a VM or hardware.
Mm-hmm.